So which classes are the most popular in Diablo 4? Well, if you missed this tweet by Blizzard, well, let's take a look. Now, we can expect it to be the same with the other betas that follow, but as of March 30, 2023, you can see that the Sorcerer and the Necromancer were the most popular, most played classes in Diablo 4 beta. Then of course there are other interesting stuff. Actually, the Butcher, I didn't know that the Butcher is kind of a strong one. I actually thought it just, more durable, and actually with the Rogue I just butchered it, but well, good to know, until somebody mentioned it's kind of like I don't know, like mini boss or something. Anyway, so question is, why the Necromancer and the Sorcerer were the most popular classes in Diablo 4? Well, the reason for that is that the Sorcerer and the Necromancer were favored in Diablo 4 beta due to the powerful start. The ranged attack allowed them to inflict significant damage early on without relying on specific gear or skill combinations. Unlike the Barbarian, Druid, or Rogue that requires more skill to effectively manage movement, crowd control, and consistent damage. And this is exactly, by the way, standing in line with what I felt when I played those classes. I felt that with the Necromancer, and I should mention it in my video, it was so easy. Everything was so easy. You just fire away from the trouble, you zap enemies, by the time they get to you, they're already gone. It was really, and of course, if you have the skeletons, you also let them tank enemies. So again, you kind of manage things from far and not letting harm come into your way in close range. And the cool thing is, because you can do this straight from the start, it feels very strong. You just choose those certain abilities that are very powerful, and even without actually, getting the right items at the beginning, you already feel very, very powerful. With the Rogue, it was different. I got very, very strong later on, but just getting two aspects that made me very, very powerful. I mean, I have to tell you, in some way, the Sorcerer for me felt like an auto-clicker. Let's say semi-automatic, because again, I felt like really I don't need to do a lot. The damage of, especially by the way, the lighting was so powerful. You just zap into enemies. It was so easy to, well, deal with most of the problems in the game. I mean, by then, the first area, of course, and at the lower levels, and I really felt very, very powerful. But it doesn't mean this is the reason for you to choose those characters, because some of the other ones can be even more powerful, but just will take you more time until you unlock certain type of aspect and skill that will make you more powerful, more towards the end game. So you can see when me playing with the Sorcerer, just moving around, letting my pets deal the damage, and just move around, it's time to stay safe, trying. But again, most of the time it was really piece of cake. I didn't need to do a lot, because again, they're dealing damage and I get orbs, healing potions dropped because of that. So I don't even need to do like anything directly, just stay a bit far from the damage and AoE. Because of that, it's also giving more time to pay attention to the AoE compared to if I was just going, melee range. So I can just walk around. I'm not doing it well here, but basically it gives you more time to observe the area where the AoE is actually taking place and just maneuver out of it. And again, when you're using a melee range, again, you need to always sometimes reposition and, of course, making other builds that are more resilient to damage up close. And if you fight, for example, and there's AoE on the ground, you need to continue fighting, otherwise you probably won't deal damage, again, if you're melee. So all these things need to take into account, whether with the Sorcerer, it was just a piece of cake. And I really felt like I'm playing on easy mode when I play the Sorcerer. Really, seriously. And the same goes with the Necromancer. I really felt easy mode, especially once I unlocked the Golem, this huge one. This is the moment I unlocked them. When you have your pets, they do damage for you and get aggro. And again, and you can see, of course, just pay attention to what's going on, because it's much easier when you're not focusing on combat. Things just become much, much easier. And I'm not saying that the Sorcerer and Necromancer are going to be, less, efficient down the road. I actually play with the Sorcerer and I find a build that can make it be immune so, almost forever. It was crazy early on. So I just can't imagine what happens if I play with it more. But I do expect, of course, balances to take place. So even what I experienced in the beta, some things might change. We see the Druid change significantly, getting a really strong buff. So it also might change some players to choose to get a Druid now after the buff. But the Sorcerer was absolutely insane. And I do expect it to be nerfed a bit in some of the aspect. Otherwise, I think it's just going to be totally broken. I actually have the footage from the previous beta, so let me show you. So we are talking here about the flame shield that the default is engulf yourself in flames for 2 seconds, burning surrounding enemies 40%, but while flame shield is active, you are immune. Look at that. But you think you can actually play it, so the cooldown, look at the cooldown on the left, it's already ready. So actually can expedite the cooldown so fast, and I can use it like spam it, and I become immune in the duration that it's active. It's pretty nuts. It actually made me so durable that I told myself, well, if it's like that and I can use it so often, I mean, it's going to be crazy. I can be even totally immune in most of the time. But again, everything that is like going to be maybe broken and going to catch it, I do expect it to be nerfed to some degree at least. But of course, Diablo is about feeling very powerful. But again, something that's close to be broken, it feels broken so early, well, this most probably will be patched. So yeah, so again, based on my experience, I'm not surprised. They felt very easy to play. You're gonna, most of the time you feel like you're far from the troubles. You let others to actually do things for you, and or at least going to do it from far, so you actually not involved directly with enemies, and it will just walk in the park, especially at the beginning. The rock, for example, was pretty nuts when you upgrade it. It's actually, again, when you eliminate enemies, this means less damage. Basically, the faster you can eliminate them, the less damage you're going to get eventually. So the best thing is just to eliminate enemies as fast as possible. And in that aspect, the rogue was absolutely nuts. You're just melting everything. So again, we'll see how it goes with the balancing when the game is released. But yeah, these are the 2 most popular classes. Again, tell me your thoughts about these 2 classes and why you think maybe other reasons why these 2 classes were very popular in the beta and probably going to be when the game is released. Thanks for watching.